Hi there, Zam here for NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Quantum Leap Season 1, Episode 1. So, the 2022 Quantum Leap, you'll be happy to know, is not a reboot. It's actually a continuation from what we got in 1995. Dr. Ben Sung, who's our main protagonist, is basically continuing the work left off by Dr. Samuel Beckett. And I just want to briefly talk about the 1995 series before I continue with this one. One of the things I loved about that show was that it actually ended, because a lot of the series I watched back in the day never ended because they would just get cancelled. Ratings would drop, and then studios would decide, okay, we're done with this show, we're cancelling it. Quantum Leap was such a popular show, it went on for many seasons, and then it finally ended, and it was a great ending as well, with Samuel Beckett never returning home. In my opinion, Samuel Beckett knew that he was doing good in the world, repairing wrongs, making people's lives better. So that's why he never returned. He wanted to spend the rest of his days just restoring humanity and making people happy. And that's why I feel, hopefully, in this particular series being a continuation from that one day we will see Ben Sung crossing paths with Samuel Beckett and seeing all the good that Samuel Beckett's doing, leaping from different timelines and making the world a better place. Hopefully we won't see any of that God storyline bullshit. In my opinion, that was one of the dampeners of the original series. But let's see how this particular show goes. It does basically have let me rephrase myself. It does have a present day storyline, and that's going to have a significant role with this show. The present day storyline involves all the people trying to get Dr. Ben Sung back into the present whilst he's in the past. These people consist of like Ernie Hudson, Narissa Lee, Catelyn Bassett, who plays the Owl character, and finally, let me just get the name up here, Mason Alexandra Park, who's a bit of a computer geek and somebody who helped Ben Sung, regarding the current day project of Quantum Leap. Ziggy is known as this AI, same with blocks of computer software and hardware everywhere, basically being Ziggy as well. And Ziggy basically creates all these different algorithms that predicts potential futures and what Ben Sung could end up being in. Ben still has to resolve the past by fixing a problem, and in this particular episode his problem he has to fix is basically stopping one of his fellow bank robber mates, because he's in the body of a bank robber, but this bank robber he happens to be in is also a undercover cop, but he has to stop one of his bank robber mates from being killed by the head honcho bank robber, because if he gets killed, eventually then his friend's wife will end up dying, because she's suffering from an illness, which is why he's robbing banks in the first place, to pay for a medical treatment, because in America they don't have public health care because that country's fucked. And if he dies and his wife dies, then his daughter will be an orphan and everything just turns to shit. So he's trying to make sure that this guy doesn't fucking die. So that's basically his storyline through this particular episode, as well as the present day storyline, which is not only to get Ben Sung back, but on top of that to find out who this mysterious person is. Now we've kind of got an idea that there's a mysterious person, by the way, and that will hopefully be resolved in later episodes, but we've got an idea who she is already, and that happens to be Al's daughter. Now Al, played by the late Dean Stockwell, in this series apparently had died last year, so he leaves behind a daughter, and this particular woman is the person possibly who coaxed Ben Sung into using the Quantum Leap machine and all of that. So these present day storylines will have a part to play, and we'll understand where that goes, as well as obviously all the people in the lab trying to get Ben Sung back into the present. And this is the difference between this show and the previous show with Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell, because in this show we are having a present day storyline. We never really got that in the previous show. It was just about Sam resolving a problem in the past, and the only thing we got from the present day was Al, and he would come through like a hole in a portal and all that sort of stuff and be a hologram. And there are some elements of this current show that the previous show is definitely missing. Like, you remember certain things about Quantum Leap that sticks out, like the portal that Al comes through, like the bloody sort of device he has in his hand, which goes and he knocks it and all that sort of stuff. you know, the theme tune. Da 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 da. You know, all of that. We're not getting any of that. Also, even the leaping itself, unsatisfactory, because once Ben resolves his issue, he then leaps into another body, and this particular person is more to do with this particular issue here. I think he's in the body of an astronaut, and we'll see that next week and how that pans out. But when he actually leaps and he's going into a new body, and actually, because this is the first time he's leaping, the people in the present day expect him to be leaping back into the present day, but that obviously doesn't happen, because then what's the fucking point? So we do see him leaping into another body, another problem that he has to resolve. But that leap, the way he leaps, it's no not like it was in 1995. It's done differently, not it's done as memorably, and I'm a bit unhappy with that. Even some of the special effects overall, the green screening and stuff like that, this show looks like it should be on the Sci-Fi Channel, if it is, because I don't know if it is in America or not, but if it is, then it's in the right place. But it's a bit here and there at this moment in time. It is the first episode, and Rome was never ever built in a day. So many shows don't have a decent first episode, but there does feel to be like a linear story now with this particular show. Before, it was just about Sam jumping from place to place. There were certain story elements that did come back to haunt him during the course of the series of Quantum Leap, like the evil Quantum Leaper and stuff like that, who's working for the devil. And please, do God, this God angle, I really hope they don't do that shit this time round, because it was such a stupid idea. Even though I did love the show Quantum Leap, the God and devil angles were fucking ridiculous. And that might be the case because there is like an undercover story that has yet to be resolved, and there's so much more to come, because there's subliminal messages, left by Ben Song to his wife, who's playing the owl role. By the way, his wife is playing the owl role, and Ben, once he leapt, he lost his memory, so he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. But before he leapt, he left a message for his wife on his phone, but he was being very subliminal with that message. So I'm sure we'll find out more things. Obviously, Al's daughter as well. There's more things to come from this show regarding the present day, and I'm not sure if that's going to be as interesting as just seeing Ben Sung make people's lives better. Because that's what Samuel Beckett did, and that was the best thing about Quantum Leap. It was such a simple premises. It was a very dramatic show. It never really was that action-packed, It was just, like the most action-packed of the show was just seeing him leap, and then when he lands in the different places, oh boy, and all of that sort of stuff. We never got an oh boy from Ben Song, or maybe that was a bit too cheesy, which is why he's not doing it. But still, it'd be good to have his own sort of catchphrase every time he leaps. It's like, oh shit, something like that. Like just something along those lines, just to you need to make this show memorable with certain moments. And so far, there's nothing in this first episode that's made me think, okay, this is going to be the memorable thing about this show regarding this, that, or the other. Nothing at this moment in time. We'll see how things pan out in the future. So far, this show, the only thing, the saving grace this show has, is that we might possibly see Scott Bakula in the future, because we know he's still out there leaping around, fucking solving people's problems. So who knows, maybe Ben Song might bump into him, and that'll be one hell of a cameo. And that reason alone, this show has still got me a little bit interested. Hopefully the future episodes will be a lot better than this particular one. It is the pilot after all, and it is setting up a lot of things, so to speak, but it's starting to be a lot more complicated with like two storylines. The one of Ben doing his thing by jumping, and the present day storyline as well. So we'll see how that pans out, and if that is palatable for a lot of people. Let me know what you think about this particular show. Did you like it? Are you happy with the first episode? Are you looking forward to the next? Don't forget to leave a like, share, comment, all of that crap, and obviously sign up to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care. Bye bye.